Hey guys, Ningam10 Masterdo here, and welcome to part 3 of my Let's Play of SSX Tricky. In the last part, we 100% completed Garibaldi, and in this episode, we are going to move on to the next track, Snowdream, which is located in Japan. For the win. So let's just look at the intro.
Slopes atop the heights of Japan's mountain range, Snowdream. Our new season finds the layout so different from last year's that riders might not recognize it as an old friend. Only the tasteful resort, hot springs, and colorful Japanese ski culture assures us that this is the same track.
We're gonna kick this off nice and easy.
So, if you didn't listen to the announcer, he said that this was a recurring track from last year, which is technically the first SSX game. What he means by that is if you've never played the first SSX game, this is a track. There was a track in the first SSX called Snowdream. It has exactly the same name as this track, but the thing is, it's just in SSX Tricky they reused almost all of the textures, so this is just a track with a bunch of reused textures. Kinda lame, but it's also a very short track, which is nice because later on there's a track. Actually, the next track that we're gonna do is a 5-minute long track, which aggravates me. It's the longest track in the game, also one of the most annoying tracks in the game. We'll talk about that when we get there. For now, let's just focus on racing, shall we? By the way, this track is about 2.5 minutes long. So, yeah, what to say about this track? What else to say? Well, first of all, it's not hard either. It's not a difficult track to ride on. One thing that you might have trouble on is the end section, because it's kind of a tight corridor type of part of the track. But, I mean, I'll talk about it when I get there, but what else is there to say? There isn't a lot of jumps in this track. Well, I mean, there are, but there's not a lot of big jumps. You can clearly see that this track was made for a lot of racing and not a lot of tricks. There's maybe 3 or 4 good big jumps, but that's about it. Compared to Garibaldi, when you got huge air everywhere. And by the way, here's a shortcut that you can take, which I actually failed to do, and I ended up hitting this wall. But yeah, you really shouldn't have too much trouble with this course. If you're a noob, then of course you might have a little bit of trouble. So the best thing I can recommend is that learn the track layouts. If you memorize the track layouts and you know when to turn, where the biggest jumps are so you can get the most boost, where are the runways so you can get the most speed, and where are shortcuts that you can take to increase your overall time. Here I take the lower route, so to speak, and that was actually the corridor that newer players might have trouble on. I had a lot of trouble on that section when I first played this game, just because it was so narrow and it was so hard to control my player. Like I said, learn how to control your player or your rider first. That is the most important thing you can do in this game. Once you got that established, it's pretty dang easy. Anyway, so we're actually done the first heat of Snowdream, which is pretty easy. Oh, and we have like a rider showdown.
Stuff is gonna bring you pain, jumpy boots.
Did I give you permission to be
Lol.
here?
First place.
Okay, so this is kind of a feature that was removed in SSX 3. Your rider, the rider you're playing as, has relationships with the other riders. So they'll either be neutral, or your enemy will specifically target you and try to knock you down in races. Or they can be your friend, which they try, I think they totally avoid you and actually slow down for you if they're your friend. With Mac, he has no friends, except for Kaori, but that's because Kaori has a crush on him. He has a lot of enemies. He is a huge enemy to Moby and to Luther, as you saw at the end of the last race. Luther got mad at Mac because I hit him a few times during the race. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that they removed this system from SSX. Well, they removed it in SSX 3 and later games because it's kind of just pointless, really. It's as long as you leave them alone, they will leave you alone. If you hit them by accident or if you hit them on purpose, then they'll start going after you, which is annoying, but really, it doesn't really add anything to the game, so it was a good decision for them to leave that kind of system out of SSX 3. Anyways, so this is probably my favorite track in the entire game. It's really funky, it's really awesome. The saxophone is amazing. It really gets your blood pumping. Unlike some of the other songs in the game, which I will not be showing because they suck, about 90% of the songs in this game is just one beat over and over. And it's not catchy like modern music. It's hip-hop beats. It's pretty terrible. But this is one of the only good songs in the game. I love this soundtrack. It's awesome. Anyway, so here, I take the shortcut, which leads up to the higher route of the track, which is so much faster. As you probably noticed by now, the higher routes are the faster routes in the game. Or routes off the beaten path most of the time are the faster routes of the track. Which is kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog if you think about it. Of course, SSX... Like, I mean, the SSX track designs came before Sonic Generations and Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Colors, where they really did start to make faster routes for Sonic to travel. But let's get back to the game here. I just completed the second heat of Snowdream. That was pretty easy. And here we are on to the final heat, where it's for all the marbles. Yeah, this track is easy. You just gotta remember where the turns are, and yeah, there's really nothing else I can say about this track. Like, I'm not even taking any shortcuts and I'm still winning. Well, I'm taking one shortcut and that's all that matters. Some of these tracks, all you need to do is take one huge shortcut and you win, because the AI in this game, they don't take shortcuts a lot of the time. Maybe once in a while they'll take a shortcut, but most of the time they will not take any shortcuts. Just a word of warning. If you try and take a shortcut with a bunch of rails on it, the rail hit detection in this game is not perfect. It was improved in SSX 3, but in this game it's really not. It's hard to tell if you're going to fall off or not, so just be warned that it's difficult to follow rail shortcuts. So, yeah. What else? The control setup in SSX Tricky, if you haven't been playing along with me, is a bit different. For one, you don't have, well, the knockout buttons aren't set to the shoulder buttons, they're set to the right analog stick. Also, there are no head slides or tail slides anymore. Instead, yeah, you know, the knockout buttons are attached to the right control stick, so that's a bit different. Which, you know, because there's no more combos, well, technically there are. There's no more combos, so I guess it's not really needed. But I also like it how on the control stick you can knock people forward or backwards. That was removed in SSX 3 because I thought it was kind of useless. Well, in this game, it's actually pretty useful to try and knock people that are hightailing you. Yeah. So about the combos, there are technically combos, but they're difficult to pull off, and it's kind of just luck-based. Basically, you get a combo if you do a trick, and then you land on a rail, and then you do another trick, and then you land on another rail. So it basically, if you do tricks and land on rails repeatedly in succession, then you'll get combo bonuses, and they're not based on how many points you get in those tricks. They're just base numbers of 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. But anyways, that was the race event in Snowdream. I hope you liked the video. Comment, rate, subscribe. Check out my other videos. Check out my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next part.
You have achieved star status.
sickness!